Aloha Aina, and welcome to Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's future, brought to you by the Kiwani Foundation. I'm Ehuke Kaho Cardwell, and here we are today on Old Nu'uanupali Road on Oahu. We have a very special show for you today, but in order to do it, you gotta go with me in here. So you ready? Let's go! So off we went, hiking deep into the bushes. Our guide was Dr. Baron Kaho Ching. He was taking us to a place once bristling with activity in old Hawaii, but a place that until recently, time seemed to have forgotten. As we walked further and further through the thick bamboo, I wondered what I'd gotten myself into, and if it was all going to be worth it. But in a flash, my questions were answered. And there it was, a truly amazing sight, one that few people in present-day Hawaii have ever seen.
Como mai?
Well, here we are. We made it. We're inside. And with us today is none other than Baron Kaho Ching. Baron, aloha. Great to have you on the show. Welcome to Voices of Truth again.
Mahalo.
Now, tell us, where in the world are we right now?
We are in the Ahupua of Honolulu, in the Ili of Luakaha, and behind us we have the Hale, Kamehameha III's Hale Ali'i of Kaniaka Pupu.
Wow. So this was Kamehameha III's house, his hale.
His summer house.
His summer house called Kaniaka Pupu.
Aye.
Wow. And it's without some walls and without roof. What year was this built?
Kaniaka Pupu was built roughly between 1835 and 1840, about the same time as Kauai Ha'o Church. Some of the construction is very similar. We have some coral block construction, probably some from the same coral reef that Kauai Ha'o came from. But what's interesting is that this was the first government building that was built sort of Western style.
Really?
Yeah, all previous government buildings were dry stack with peely grass or other grass leaves kind of thing.
Right.
But Kaniaka Pupu was built with mortar and plaster. It, however, retained many of its Hawaiian aspects because the roof was peely grass. And there's certain constructions inside that tells you that this is a very Hawaiian place.
Wow. I know this has a lot of history to it, and you want to tell us about the history. You also want to take us on a tour, right?
Yes, we can do that.
Good, so let's start the tour. Where should we go first?
Right up here.
Okay.
Kaniaka Pupu is known for a number of things. This is where they had the great celebration for the restoration of independence, Kalahoihoi'ea. Twice, in fact, they had celebrations up here. This was also the place where they had the Chief's Children's School. And during the summertime when it was hot. Also, a lot of fairly significant things probably did happen inside here. Now, what this place looked like before was each side was the same. A window, two windows, and one door. A peely grass roof that extended to the edge of these rocks.
All the way down?
To the edge of these rocks.
Wow.
And a wooden lanai that went across all the way around. And you can see where the lanai was by where the plaster ends over there.
Right there. Wow,
yeah.
Amazing. So, Baron, Kalahoihoi'ea, we have viewers of Voices of Truth both inside Hawaii and people around the world watching the show. Kalahoihoi'ea was the time that the British restored the sovereignty to the Hawaiian nation, yes?
Yes, what happened was that February 11th, 1843, the British seized Hawaii, and upon an enlightened review of what happened, Admiral Thomas restored the independence of Hawaii, put up the Hawaiian flag, July 31st, 1843. Kamehameha III declared that day to be a holiday forever, La Hoi Hoi Ea. And on August 4th, 1843, 10,000 people came up that road, up here, had a celebration to restore independence.
10,000 people here.
Biggest party in Hawaiian history.
Wow, and would they have walked right along this, this entryway path here?
Okay, what would have happened was that if you were Admiral Thomas's driver or the British ambassador's driver, you would have turned around in this area over here.
Yes.
And you would have gotten off on this paved stone walkway. And Kamehameha III would be standing on the lanai over here to greet everybody. That's what would have happened.
Amazing. Amazing. All right, let's continue the tour.
Okay.
What do we have here?
This was a plaque that was put in the 70s. And it commemorates that very action, the party. And actually there were two great parties here. The first was August 4th, 1843. The second one was La Hoi Hoi Ea, July 31st, 1847. So twice they had 10,000 people, essentially the entire population of Oahu, came up here to celebrate
Wow.
La Hoi Hoi Ea.
I noticed there's some offerings down here at the bottom of the plaque.
Yeah.
You mean people come up here today in modern times and leave stuff?
They do. Some of them leave appropriate stuff and some of them are inappropriate. It's rather inappropriate to leave pohaku inside the la'i. And some people even make their own ahu out there. We kind of discourage that. That's really not traditional.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you say we go inside?
Sure, come on
Let's go
in.
inside. Come on with us. Wow, this is amazing. Look at this. Whew.
You know that door that you just came through?
Yes.
The Chiefs Children's School was held here in summertime, and you're familiar with the Chiefs Children's School?
Yes.
Okay, so they actually kept a journal of their time up here. They said they spent their time on the hardwood floors with pillows.
Yes.
So Queen Emma spent time here. So did Princess Victoria Kamamalu actually was queen for one day.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Lili o Kalani and perhaps even Kalakaua spent time here. And
As
Prince
children,
William,
yes.
Prince William as children during the Chiefs Children's School. They came through that door.
Came through that door
And
spent time right here on the floor.
In this room.
In this room on pillows learning.
Well,
Amazing. Wow.
so
Wow. And when you look up, Peter, get a shot up here if you can. Just pan around. This is truly astounding. Beautiful. What kind of rock is this here? Is this lava, Baron?
we have actually coral block and we have lava.
Ah,
And, well, you can see the coral block.
yeah.
But again, the design is very typical for that time. It's very similar to what you see in Iolani Palace in Washington Place. Have you been there before?
Yes, uh-huh.
You see that the windows and doors are beveled,
Yes.
and that's because glass was a very precious commodity. It had to be shipped around South America or it had to go through South Africa to get here. So glass was rare, and you took advantage of whatever you had. That's why if you go to Washington Place in Iolani, the panes of glass were not cut. The windows and doors go from floor to ceiling.
Right, big
because
ones.
they didn't cut them.
Yeah.
And to maximize the light that came in, you bevel the doors and the windows just to maximize the light.
Wow.
Kanekapupu consisted of 3 rooms. You had the large front room where you entertained the guests, and you had 2 smaller rooms in back, the king's and queen's bedroom. And you can tell where the partition was by the partition on the wall here.
Oh, yes, look at this right here. Right there. There's the line.
Well, that wall's gone.
That wall's gone. But right over here, here's the line right here. Amazing. Look at that.
You can tell where the hardwood floors were, where the plaster ends. That's where the hardwood floor was, right there.
So, in other words, the floor came up right up to here,
Right about
at
there.
this mark right here, and the plastered walls came right down here.
Right.
Whoa.
And there are other features too. Of course, there's no roof because it was a piligras roof.
Right.
And so that went rather quickly. But if you look at the design, it retains many of the Hawaiian characteristics. For example, this door and this door don't match. They're a little bit off.
Yes, I noticed that when we were walking in.
And this one is a little bit off too.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Why is that?
You want to venture a guess?
I know what it is. It's because of the night marchers.
Night marchers. So the
Yes.
night marchers didn't come through. Even the
Yes.
windows are like that.
Now,
Yeah.
for our viewers, explain what the night marchers are.
All right. One night out of the month was actually designated when the night when the night marchers come through. The night marchers were the spirits of the departed, the chiefs, and they just took their desired path through. And you were expected to pay them all the homage that was due any high chiefess or chief at their time. So in order to prevent problems like that, you just shifted the door a little bit, and that kind of like made them detour, go around.
So in other words, if they couldn't see the door, the entry and the exit lined up, they wouldn't come in. They'd
No.
go around.
They go around.
Interesting. Interesting. So if you didn't want house guests, you just adjusted things a little bit.
Well, if you didn't want night marchers coming
Night
through,
marchers,
it's a big
right.
difference. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yes. Very good. Okay, so this was the front room, this was the back room, and this was a bedroom, you said?
King's and the Queen's bedroom.
King's and the Queen's bedroom. Wow.
So what happened in this room? Well, Kauai Ke'uli was born a living god. You know, he was
Kamehameha III.
Kamehameha III was born a living god. His mother was Keopuolani, his father was Paea. He was a Pio chief, a Ho'i Pio chief, but still he was as close as you get to a living god. His word was a law. But he was always surrounded by gunboats. They come in demanding stuff, and of course, you're your living god, but you got to give up this, you got to give him money. It was very stressful for him. He would come up here to relax and rest.
Okay, and the gunboats were the American
All
gunboats.
kinds, British, French, everybody.
So in other words, foreign powers are coming in here trying to extract favors and items and power from him, basically, yes?
Yes, so he would come up here to escape from all of that. Now, the other thing that happened was that he probably came up here, and he probably wrote part of the Mahele up here. He probably wrote part of the rights of chiefs and men in 1839 up here, and he probably also wrote part of the Constitution up here, 1840.
Amazing. So some really critical documents, significant documents in Hawaii's history were probably written right in this
partially.
house, at least
In this
partially.
room, yes.
Wow. Wow, amazing. So Ali'i, as children, were trained here. Some of the most significant documents in the history of Hawaii were at least started in this residence right here in this holly.
Indeed, they were.
Amazing. Wow. We are literally standing in a place of astounding history.
Well, there's even more history if you'd like to see some more.
Let's see some more.
All right, come on over this way.
Okay. All right, now here we've walked over here quite a ways away from Kaneakapupu, the hale. And Baron, what do we have here? What is in front of us under the trees?
We have here a paved stone pathway, and it leads off to this rectangular structure over here. What you need to keep in mind was Kaneakapupu was essentially abandoned by 1850. If you see stone protruding from the ground, it's a man-made structure, and here we have a man-made structure. What we have here is a three-tiered paved structure. As you can see, there's paving stone on the ground here. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3.
Wow.
For those of you who don't know, actually, Kaneakapupu actually started out its life as a lono heiau. And there's some question about where it was, whether it's actually in Waulani or whether it was actually here. Well, this place looks like, and we suspect probably is the original lono heiau of Kaneakapupu.
So, Baron, this thing goes all the way back there. This was a huge heiau.
Well, we don't know because that wall was partially destroyed by the Board of Water Supply. They put a trench through.
Oh, no. Wow. Okay, and for our viewers outside of Hawaii watching, explain what a heiau is.
A heiau is a temple, Hawaiian temple, and Lono was a god of agriculture and peace. It said that in the general area of Kaneakapupu, there were gardens, medicinal gardens that the Lono priests maintained of every known beneficial herb, and they ministered to the needs of the people crossing over the pali, going from, from Ko'olaupoko side over to Kona side and back and forth.
Wow. So this was a very significant heiau we're standing on.
This is actually the highest heiau of the Honolulu series.
No kidding.
The highest one. Yeah. So the other thing is that when they had their great party in 1843, it said that they took an abandoned structure, they put a roof over it, and they served the 10,000. And if you look, there's actually two pits inside the center of that, and the edges actually have holes. We think that those were dug out to make the roof so that they could serve the 10,000. We think this is the abandoned structure that they used.
Right here on the heiau.
On the heiau itself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So there's certain written records that you've discovered, is that true, about Kaneakapupu?
Oh yeah, okay, the Hawaiian language press, it was quite vibrant. There were something like 60 Hawaiian language papers that existed in its time. And there actually are a number of accounts of the great party that occurred at Kaneakapupu. They said that the party that occurred was 60 rods from the house towards the pali side. The pali is this direction.
Yeah, right over there.
And 60 rods, are you familiar with a rod?
Yep.
17 feet.
Yeah.
So about 1,000 feet from Kaneakapupu in that direction. They said that they served the people on a table that was 20 rods long.
Whoa.
350 feet. They said that at the head of this table sat Kamehameha III, you had Admiral Thomas, you had the British and French ambassadors. And they said that they strung from the trees, which incidentally most of these weren't here. They had the flags of Hawaii, Britain, France, and they had the crown flag. You're familiar with the crown flag?
Yep.
Okay, and underneath the crown flag sat Kamehameha III.
Amazing.
in this place.
Amazing. What a sight that must have been to be here and be a part of that and witness that.
Yeah, there are accounts of that. They said they had people doing the old skills. An old chief, they did the lua thing where they are throwing spears at them
Right.
simultaneously, and
Right.
yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Baron, does the heiau predate the house?
It does
By how
considerably.
much?
Oh, I don't know. We're talking hundreds of years, probably hundreds, maybe 1,000. Who knows?
So the heiau here that we're on right now is 500 to 1,000 years old, roughly. Yes.
We're not sure exactly how old, but it's significant. It's the highest heiau of the Honolulu series.
Amazing. All right, let's continue the tour.
Okie dokie. We're not going to go into the field. It's a little rough. We're
Okay.
going to look at some taro patches. Well, for starters, we have our dry stack wall, which you're familiar with. We don't know how old this is. It's actually may precede Kaniakapuku because its construction is again dry stack wall, which is unlike Kaniakapuku. And it encloses the entire area. It may actually be related more to the heiau than actually to Kaniakapuku. We're not entirely sure. Okay.
Okay, so Baron, where are we now? What is this right here?
Okay, this is to me evidence of our pre-contact time here. This is an adze sharpening stone, and you might be able to see by those lines over here.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You know what the adze is? The koi.
Yes.
Okay, and so when it gets dull, you put it over here and you just
Yes.
turn it like this, and that upper edge is where that upper edge is.
Look at that. My goodness. And so the adze was something they used like an axe back then.
They used it for a lot of things, for cutting down trees, for making
Yeah.
canoes.
So
Everything.
this right here, this stone is where they would sharpen it, and there's the marks
Right there.
that are still there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. And this predates, so this would be at least earlier than the late 1700s, yes?
Yes, because again, you know, we're talking stone. We're not talking iron, which came
Yes.
with cook. So yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
this is the adze sharpening stone.
Amazing.
Yeah, we keep it covered so nobody runs off with it.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Let's cover it back up and continue the tour. Okay, Baron, so where are we right now? What do we have right here?
Well, we're behind the king's and queen's bedroom, but as you know, any stone protruding from the ground means that it's something man-made, and here we have a whole bunch of stone.
Yep.
What happened was that the field school, Bishop Museum and University of Hawaii came through here in 98, 99 and dug this up, and actually these are taro patches, and okay, so you've seen 1,000 taro patches, what's the big deal? Right now we're about 1,000-foot elevation. This would represent probably the highest known taro patches in the entire Pacific Basin. Not any place in Indonesia, not any place in Philippines, no place else.
So wait. This taro patch right here is the highest in elevation taro patch of any taro patch in the entire Pacific Basin.
Either this
Wow.
one or the ones a little bit closer to the Pali, which might be a
Wow.
slightly bit higher elevation.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Highest in the Pacific Basin. Now the other thing that's kind of interesting too is the structure over here, if you'd like to come and take a look, see.
Let's do that. All right, Baron, what do we have here? What is this?
We have a piece of engineering here. This is actually the opening for an underground stone-lined culvert, which drained these taro patches. Otherwise, you would have a pond here. And you can trace the stone going through. And it comes through to the other side over here.
Right over here. Okay, here we are now at the culvert, yeah?
Yep, stone-lined culvert. So this is the exit point for the culvert. And you can see it goes underneath the road.
Wow.
And it comes to this rock to break the water. And it goes down to another awai down through there.
So they built this hole under the ground. They drilled it out, yeah?
Actually, I think they just excavated it, built the rock structure, and then they put the road over.
And they filled it back in.
Yes.
It's like laying pipe in modern day times.
Yeah, and so here is again the rest of the road.
Wow. Look at that. Amazing.
Okay, perhaps you'd like to see the Kalakaua water line?
Yes.
Okay, right this way.
Okay, here we are now at Kalakaua's water line. Now that looks like wood, huh?
No, actually it's iron. It used to be redwood with iron bands around, just like a barrel.
Wow.
So of course the redwood is now long gone. For those of us who don't know, Kalakaua was actually a very progressive king. He signed a charter for Hawaiian Electric Company. The first generating plant was a water turbine, which is down by the light by the Pali Highway. But this structure brought water to run the turbine. And so now, of course, it's not much left. But yeah, this is built about 1885, 1886 or so.
So this actually brought the water that they needed to Kaneakapupu here?
No, this actually was taken down to the water turbine,
Oh, no kidding.
and it generated power for the first Hawaiian Electric Company,
Amazing.
1886 or 1888.
Amazing.
So,
Wow.
under the order of King Kalakaua.
Wow. Modern king indeed.
Oh yeah, Hawaii was a very progressive country. It had better schools in the United States, better presses. You know, the people were more literate, actually, highest rate of literacy in the entire Western world. So,
Okay, now we've come all the way back deep into the rainforest from Kaneakapupu, way back in here. And Baron, you said we're standing, what is this, a bridge?
this is actually a stone bridge, and as you can see, there are 3 tiers of stone here to stabilize it. And I think this is quite an interesting piece of engineering for those days.
Amazing. 1, 2, 3. They really knew their stuff, didn't they?
I believe so.
All right, now just when I thought we couldn't go any further, Baron, you brought us even further into the rainforest, all the way up this hill, because you said you had something very special to show us that I've never even seen before. What is that?
Well, okay, you notice the forest is very thick here.
Yep, very
This
thick in
is
there.
what Kaneakapupu looked like before. I mean, you couldn't even see 10 feet into it. In fact, you know, you can walk 10 feet into the bushes and you can find stuff that nobody has seen for the last 150 years. In fact, you could even just go on your very feet and you can find something that nobody's seen in 150 years.
Look at that.
This is a booze bottle. And it's old. If you can tell by feeling the pico underneath here,
Yes.
it's rough.
Yes.
This type of bottle was blown and left on the glass. And what happened was that when they brought it out, that's when you cut it, so the bottom, the pico was rough.
Yes.
This type of bottle was made between 1823 and they stopped production about 1870.
No kidding.
So this bottle potentially
Wow.
came from the original party in 1843.
My goodness.
You know, drivers having a good time, you know, bottle's empty, just kind of flinging into the bushes, and here it lands. And we've picked this thing up 150,
Amazing.
160 years later.
Amazing. And there it lays
And there it lays.
for 150, 60 years.
Yes.
To be discovered by you in
Well,
present times.
Yeah, and, well, by the group. But what's happened is that this has not been charted yet, so that's why we leave it back in the ground, because it hasn't been documented. and we
Okay,
need to do that.
let's go ahead and put the bottle back.
Yeah, all right.
All right, we finally made it back to the front of the holly at Kaneakapupu, and Baron, you're involved in preservation efforts of this entire area here, yes?
Yes, we are. We have a grant actually from OHA to try to see about stabilizing and preserving this, and we're working with the Historic Preservation Department at the University of Hawaii. Time has not been kind to Kaneakapupu. That block tends to melt in the rain, so we're working on a plan to stabilize and preserve, perhaps putting a roof over it, prevent it from deteriorating any further. Of course, we just love to restore it back the way it was, but, well, that remains a major project that we're kind of investigating, but it goes on further. We would also like to restore the whole Ili of Luakaha, this whole area from Pali Cliffs down to the housing, valley wall to valley wall, 2,200 acres, was full with taro patches and dryland fields and also irrigation ditches. We would like to turn this to TCP, a traditional cultural property. This could actually be a nucleus where we could actually have a self-sustaining industry over here. We can get taro growing back here, crops, right in the middle of urban Honolulu. And in fact, in the district of Kona, this may be the most intact piece of agricultural land that exists in the whole district of Kona.
Well, Baron, you know something? If anybody can do it, you're the guy that can do it. Baron, mahalo for an amazing tour of this amazing place, Kaneakapupu. This has just been, I don't know how to describe this. It's just been a very unique experience, so mahalo for this. You've been watching one of the most remarkable episodes we've done yet of Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's future. Remember to watch us on the web, voicesoftruth.tv.com, and our weekly video commentaries on freehawaiitv.com. I'm Ehu Ke Kaho Cardwell with the Kiwani Foundation. And until next time, from Kaneakapupu, ahui ho!